Farmlands. Hey, Billy Blue. You're my boy, Blue. I thought you should know, if you don't already, that the Norwegian government is forcing farmers to shut down and sell their farms to meet national carbon emission standards. Wow, wait, what? They're using global warming as an excuse to take over the food supply. Is that what's going on here? Carbon emissions is the scam they're using to tax ordinary citizens for essentially existing. Yeah, exactly. That's what they're doing. They're blaming us for global warming, not the whole insanity of capitalism, which I feel like we're coming to the end of, where they've just, how many things can you buy? It's just this empty pursuit. I don't know. I don't. There's, you know what? No form of government works because people run it, and people are inherently flawed. So it's all designed to fail. Yeah, in the future, they're not going to penalize companies for their carbon footprint. They're gonna penalize you. So then what? Then you buy less, which will then cause a fucking recession. The whole thing's going to just implode like a submersible. Carbon emissions is the scam they're using to tax ordinary citizens for essentially existing while polluting oceans and creating vast amounts of waste with their needless products, both of which do far worse to the environment than having a goddamn farm. When I say they, I'm referring to non-government organizations that spend hundreds of millions of dollars to lobby the government to pass laws in their favor. Yeah, they're absolutely fucking evil people that should be hunted down. And nothing happens to them because it all works. It's all about money. Gee, Bill, wow, what a deep theory. The average citizen isn't sitting around thinking that choking the food supply is a good idea. I'm pro-environment all the way. I do lots of things to not be to be a wasteful asshole, but shutting down farms sounds a bit evil to me. Anyways, thanks for all the laughs. Yeah. I don't know what their fucking end game is, but all of this like super frightening shit is happening. And they're just, anybody that's actually in power that can do it does not talk about it. The only people that talk about it are fucking meatheads like me on podcasts with no power and nothing to organize and no way to hold anybody accountable. One meathead just goes like, dude. And then the other guy goes, I know, right? All right, next video. All right, old school Atlantic City recommendations. Oh, what a fucking sweetheart. By the way, that was one of my favorite things about going when I went to Lincoln, California, is a flashback to my college days. Is I went into town and just scored everywhere that I went. I went in town. I got some coffee at this fucking place. Oh, Jesus. What the hell was it called? I got to get the name of it. I can't fuck it up because it was delicious. Absolutely delicious. All right, here we go. I'm going to Google it right now. Best coffee, Lincoln, California. Lincoln, California. Where is it? All right, the 10 best. Oh, Rebel Hen Cafe. I went there. It was absolutely delicious. And then I was with Club Soda Kenny. He's like, do you want to go back to the casino? I'm like, no, you fucking 10-foot goof. Let's go. Let's keep going in town. And we walked into town. And there was this great antique store with this wonderful great-grandmother running the thing. I know she was a great-grandmother because at some point her daughter came in with her granddaughter, and which was adorable. They had all of this cool shit in there. There was a gun store, but it was by appointment only. And then we went down the street, and there was a place where I could buy a cigar. and there was no taxi or Uber available, for like a half hour. So we just sat there smoking cigars on this park bench, watching these logging trucks go by, and just, I felt like I was in Andy Griffith in a good way. One of those small town things. And I feel like we went to 4 places, maybe not the vape place, but like the antique place, the gun store, even though we didn't get in, and the coffee place, because it wasn't a Starbucks. I felt like we just, it was reminding me back in the day of when you traveled. You traveled and you actually saw different shit as opposed to, the same fucking corporate chains. So anyway, I love all of these cities that I'm going to, I have been to already. And I've been to them at least half a dozen times. I don't know how many times I've been to Atlantic City. So the fact that somebody is taking the fucking time to give me some old school recommendations, I'm there for 2 days. It's amazing. So if you guys can tell me the good coffee spot or a place that has, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is, a good music store, old cars, any shit like that. Just cool fucking shit. And whatever the cool fucking thing is that I'm not going to see anywhere else. As opposed to, just seeing all of those fucking fatties in their Crocs standing in line outside of a fucking Starbucks. I love that fat culture. Morning coffee. Because they just don't go in and get the coffee. They go in and it looks like a fucking shake. And then they got to get like a muffin. Or I don't know what I can't even name half the desserts that are behind the glass. The fucking sconce. I can't even remember if that's like a light that hangs on the wall or a dessert. One of those fucking things. It's something like that. It sounds the exact same. All right, old school Atlantic City recommendations. Hey, Bill, longtime listener and former resident of Atlantic City. I grew up in Atlantic City. It's a wacky town, but its inability to give up on its glory Fly Me to the Moon Rat Pack days has stunted the growth of the city, leaving it consistently in some sad purgatory. Jesus. I don't think you could have described it any better, which to me is what gives it its charm. See the great Bob Ralphson movie, 5 Easy Pieces, with Jack Nicholson, Bruce Dern, and Ellen. It's so funny. I was just on Criterion last night, and I was like, I want to watch that movie. Anyway, I have some friends who live there now who are really trying to make the place better than it has been. But personally, I like it the way it is. Disorientating, and a little off. Hope I said that word right. I saw that you were once again returning to the city and wanted to give you a couple recommendations if you were interested, as I know you appreciate history and old things like me, probably to a detriment. No, I love this shit. All right, Tony's Baltimore Grill, old school pizza and Italian joint that's been around since 1927. The new owner has painstakingly refurbished the place back to its earliest looks. Oh, dude, come on. Complete with red and black checkered tiles, cigarette machines, and beautiful neon signs. This is a real old school towny place. Not the best food in the world, but it stands as a culmination of atmosphere and authenticity. The Irish Pub Inn, another old school joint around in some fashion or another since 1910s, the 1910s. Would you say the teens, 19-teens? Think Boardwalk Empire, low ceilings, historic decor, with much of it being dedicated to old baseball memorabilia and a sparse food menu featuring a liver and onion sandwich. Old school. Angelo's Fairmont Tavern, another old school joint since 1935. Absolute classic Italian food. The Steak Angelo. Steak Angelo is not to be missed. I don't live there anymore and I can't make it to the show, but after a brief weekend trip to see family and seeing pictures of your red face pimpled all across town on billboards like a bad rash, I thought I'd steer you in some right directions, as I know Atlantic City is a little written off as of late. Try the last 30 years and we share some similar interests. That's all good to me. Another good old school movie to check out is Atlantic City with Burt Lancaster and Susan Sarandon. Burt Lancaster. How old was Susan Sarandon? Like 15? I feel like Susan Sarandon was like 5 generations of actors after that. Anyway, thought you would appreciate these joints if you have some time to kill. I hope to catch you down there some other time, but thanks for all the laughs. And go suck yourself. Best. All right, thanks for the recommendations. I'm going to write those down.